Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're looking into, well, a really fascinating collision. It's about a kid's wild imagination crashing headlong into some pretty harsh adult rules.
Yeah, and it all centers around this boy, Dominic Dowson. His own head teacher actually called him a human enigma.
A human enigma. What did he look like?
Oh, pretty unassuming, really.
Yep.
Small, ginger hair, cropped short, freckles, these big wide eyes. But his record at school, St. Jude's, it was something else.
Like a list of disasters.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
Monday, there was a window incident. His explanation, it just sort of fell out.
Fell out. Okay. What about Tuesday?
Tuesday, an escaped hamster turned up in the salad bowl. Dominic claimed it learned to flick the cage catch by watching people.
Watching people. Right.
Yeah.
This kid sounds creative.
Oh, absolutely. Wednesday, a fire extinguisher exploded, blamed on an earth tremor.
Earth tremor in school.
Okay, but Friday was the masterpiece. Somehow he managed to cascade powder paint all over his teacher, Miss Pruitt.
Oh no, covered.
Head to toe. Dominic apparently observed she looked like an extinct South American bird with brightly colored feathers.
Wow. The detail.
Yeah.
But you can see how this might cause problems, especially with this school trip coming up.
Exactly. The trip to the Yorkshire coast, Thundercliff Bay. And the stakes were super high for Dominic. His gran and his mom, they'd really scrimped and saved to pay for it.
Why was it so important to him?
Pure fantasy. He wasn't interested in the cliffs or the seabirds. He was convinced he'd find, pirates and smugglers, buried treasure, and galleons of gold.
So he's got this huge imagination, a history of chaos, and this one big chance. Enter the opposition.
You got it. The ultimate organizational stressor, Mr. Risley-Newsome, a teacher from another school, Cransworth Jr.'s, co-leading the trip.
And what's his deal? Let me guess. Rules.
Oh, big time. The source describes him as looking like someone who's just been dug up. Seriously.
Dug up.
Yeah, and picture this. He's wearing this thick, dark green anorak, corduroy breeches, heavy boots, like he's prepping for an Antarctic expedition, not a coastal walk.
Okay, so not exactly Mr. Fun Guy.
Not even close. He apparently preferred using, 5 words when one would do.
Yeah.
Very particular. He
Yeah.
prided himself on his excellent safety record. Stood no nonsense.
And Dominic must have set off all his alarm bells.
Immediately. Labeled him a nuisance of the first order, right off the bat.
How did he handle him?
Well, first there was this whole lecture about the difference between can and may, asserting authority through grammar.
Oh, that guy, yeah.
And then he assigned Dominic the front seat on the coach. Sounds okay, maybe, but he put him in charge of the litter bag and the sick bucket.
Ooh, symbolic. Much. Basically saying, you're the mess, you manage the mess.
Exactly, containment. Meanwhile, the place they're staying, Thundercliff Manor. It's this rambling old gray stone house.
Full of character, I bet.
Totally. It had been a vicarage, a hospital, a school, a convalescent home. I mean, the walls probably had more stories than Risley-Newsome had rules.
A place ripe for imagination, basically. But Dominic manages to mess up early on, right?
He does. Almost immediately confirms Risley-Newsome's worst fears. He forgets his walking boots.
Oh, no. For a walking trip, that's not good.
It was the cardinal sin, according to Risley-Newsome's checklist.
So what happened?
Instant punishment. Grounded. With a capital G. And get this, he had to write an essay.
On what? The importance of remembering things.
Close. The title was, Why It Is Important to Wear the Appropriate Footwear When Out Walking.
You're kidding. He's forcing the kid to internalize the bureaucracy. It's not just about the boots, is it? It's this clash.
Absolutely. Imagination versus the tyranny of the checklist. Procedure over, everything else.
But as you said, the place itself, Thundercliff Bay, it probably doesn't care much for checklists. It cares about its own history, its own stories.
Which is exactly what fuels Dominic's imagination. The local lore there is really rich.
Let's get into that. What are these stories?
Well, the big one involves the manor itself. There was this former rector, Reverend Joseph Elias Bentley Brewster, died back in 1799.
And what was his story? A saintly vicar.
Not exactly. Widely believed to be a smuggler, actually. A very successful one.
A smuggling vicar. Okay, tell me more.
The story goes he used caves hidden beneath the cliffs to store casks of brandy and wine. Supposedly unloaded the contraband in this little cove nearby.
A cove? Let me guess. A dangerous one.
You got it. Described as being cut off when the tide is in. So treacherous.
Did they ever catch him? Find the goods?
Nope. Legend says the customs men never found the treasure or, crucially, the secret passage that supposedly led from the cove up to the village.
The secret passage. Dominic must have loved that detail.
Oh, you bet. And the Reverend supposedly gave all the money to the poor, died penniless. Adds a nice little twist.
So hidden tunnels, moral ambiguity. Perfect fodder for Dominic. How does this contrast with Risley-Newsome's world?
Well, Risley-Newsome wants everything mapped, signed, controlled, no room for smugglers' tales. But his own confidence takes a hit, doesn't it, with that other local legend?
Ah, yes, the Phantom Horseman of Brandon Bridge. What happened there?
Risley-Newsome, ever the rationalist, insists on taking the kids through this dark, old railway tunnel under the bridge. Probably thought local superstitions were nonsense.
Did they see a Phantom Horseman?
Not quite. He shines his torch into the darkness, and bam! Huge glowing eyes staring back, then this, plume of white smoke. He completely loses it, freaks out.
Glowing eyes. What was it, really?
Just a cow. A big black and white cow sheltering in the tunnel. The torchlight caught its eyes. The smoke was probably its breath in the damp air, or maybe a fox that ran out after.
A cow. He was terrified by a cow.
Pretty much. The source says his face went gray, like the stone around them. The expert guide, totally undone by unexpected livestock.
So much for the excellent safety record and unflappable control.
Exactly. He was shaken. And what does he do? Abandons his planned route immediately, decides to take this old footpath back instead.
So his rigid certainty just cracks under the pressure of a startled farm animal.
It shows how brittle that kind of certainty can be, right? And that failure of judgment, that crack, leads directly into the real crisis.
Because he overcompensates somehow.
Seems like it. He decides, against advice, to schedule a walk along Thundercliff Bay. It's described as notorious. Miss Pruitt specifically warns him about the fast tides, the dangerous ground.
But he ignores her. Why? Ego. Trying to prove he's still in charge after the cow incident.
Probably a mix of things. But he ignores the warnings, and the consequences hit fast.
What happens?
First, one of the kids, Nathan Thomas, who'd actually been bullying Dominic earlier, twists his ankle badly on a rock, slows the whole group down.
Oh no, on dangerous ground with the tide coming in.
Exactly, and just as Miss Pruitt warned, the tide rushes in, cuts them off, and guess where they're trapped?
Don't tell me. The Smuggler's Cove.
The exact same one from the Reverend Bentley Brewster legend, the place known for being cut off by the tide.
The irony is painful. The safety expert traps them in the most legendary danger spot on the map.
Because he wouldn't listen to local knowledge. And when real danger hits, he completely falls apart.
What does he do? Try to take charge?
He panics. Tries to scramble up the cliff face, which is all slippery mud and loose rock, probably to get help. But he just gets stuck.
Stuck? How stuck?
Like properly stuck. The source says he was clinging to the wall like a barnacle. Utterly useless. Immobilized.
Wow. So the expert guide is now part of the problem. Who steps up?
Miss Pruitt. She apparently became very calm, focused entirely on the kids, keeping them safe, keeping them calm, but they still needed a way out.
And this is where Dominic comes in.
This is Dominic's moment. His far-fetched imagination, all that attention he paid to the smuggler's legend, suddenly it's the only practical knowledge that matters.
The secret passage. He remembered the story.
He did, and he connects the story to where they are, but he gets a little help. Miss Brewster's dog, Daisy, a little West Highland Terrier that was with them,
The dog finds it.
leads Dominic right to it. Over in this overgrown patch near the churchyard, Daisy starts digging or sniffing around an iron ring set into a stone slab hidden under leaves.
An iron ring, like a handle.
Exactly. Dominic clears it, pulls it up, and beneath it, steps, roughly cut steps going down into darkness.
He found it. The smuggler's passage. Yeah. But now he has to convince the adults, right? Especially Miss Pruitt. He's the kid who cries, wolf, or, earth tremors.
Right. He's got this history. But Miss Pruitt looks at the rising tide, looks at Risley-Newsome plastered to the cliff like a muddy starfish. What choice does she have?
She has to trust him.
Reluctantly, yes. She lets him go down. He scrambles down the steps, finds they lead to a ledge inside the very cave they're trapped in.
Unbelievable. So they could get out.
Yes. They tied scarves together, maybe belts too, made a sort of rope, hauled everyone up onto the ledge one by one, and followed the passage out to safety.
Amazing. Imagination and a helpful dog literally saved them. What happened to Mr. Barnacle Risley-Newsome?
Oh, his ending is quite something. He didn't get out via the smuggler's tunnel. He had to be rescued.
Oh.
By helicopter, they winched him off the cliff face. The description is priceless. He emerged looking like the creature from the Black Lagoon.
Covered head to toe in mud.
Thick gray sludge. A fitting end to his excellent safety record.
Did he face any consequences? Besides the mud bath?
Oh, yeah. The police apparently read him the riot act. severely reprimanded for taking children onto that specific stretch of coast, the notorious Thundercliff Wick, pointed out that guidebooks, local signs, everything warns about the tides there.
So his reputation was shot. While
Dominic, the daydreamer, the nuisance, was completely vindicated. Now, turns out the tunnel wasn't exactly a secret. Locals knew about it.
So it wasn't just Dominic's discovery.
The existence of the tunnel was known, apparently kept quiet to stop inexperienced people like Risley-Newsome from trying to use it and having accidents. But Dominic didn't just know about it, he knew how it connected to the legend, to the cove. His imaginative, contextual understanding was the key.
He put the pieces together when it mattered. And did he find any treasure after all that?
Well, not exactly chests of gold, but as he was coming out of the tunnel, brushing himself off, he found something small glinting on the ground.
What was it?
A small gold coin. A golden guinea dated 1797, with the words Georgius III, DEI Gratia on it.
1797. That's the right period for the smuggling vicar.
Exactly. Maybe not pirate gold, but real, tangible history. A direct link back to that legend he was so obsessed with. It was his treasure.
Wow. So the boy constantly called a liar finds actual historical proof backing up the old stories? That's incredible validation.
It really is. The kid, dismissed for his far-fetched tales, used those very tales to save the day and even found a piece of the history.
It really makes you think, doesn't it?
Yeah.
About what kind of knowledge we value, the checklists, the procedures. They failed spectacularly. But listening to the stories, paying attention to the unprovable, that worked.
And that leaves us with the final thought for you, the listener. Dominic was labeled a daydreamer, a teller of tall tales, yet his imaginative grasp of the world led to a rescue and a real discovery. So the question is, when does that kind of personal, imaginative understanding, the stuff society often dismisses, actually become vital, indispensable knowledge?
What important truths might you be overlooking today, just because they don't fit neatly onto a checklist? Something to think about.